Hello everyone. Welcome to English Lifecast. I'm so happy you're here today. I'm Alex. Now, think about your morning for a moment. What's the first thing that wakes your senses? Your phone lighting up? A long stretch? A wandering thought? Or is it that first gentle sip of coffee? Warm, smooth, a little bitter in the best way. Slowly, the day feels possible again. Isn't that a kind of magic? Speaking of mornings, let me tell you something that happened to me yesterday. Yesterday morning, I stumbled into my kitchen, still sleepy, made my coffee on autopilot. Grind, pour, add sugar, stir, drink. And then I stopped. My coffee tasted strange. Not bad exactly, just different. I looked at my cup, I looked at my counter, and there it was. My sugar bowl, and right next to it, the salt container. I had used salt. Now, I'll be honest, for one brief moment, I thought maybe I had discovered something. Salted coffee, a new trend. I could be famous. I took another sip. The moment passed. But here's what stayed with me. Some of the best things in the world started as mistakes. And coffee? Coffee is at the top of that list. Every morning, millions of people around the world start their day with coffee. For many of us, that first cup is more than a drink. It's a bridge between sleep and waking, between home and the world. So how did coffee become such a big part of our lives? How did a simple drink travel across mountains, seas, and centuries and end up in your hands every morning? Today, we're going to unlock surprising stories about coffee, things that might stay with you long after this episode ends. And by the end, you'll walk away with stronger English, a deeper understanding of coffee, and a new way of thinking about the everyday objects that connect us all. Stick with me. You may never look at your morning cup the same way again. Let's begin where it all started, with a curious boy and his dancing goats. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a very different world. No cafés, no espresso machines, no morning routines like the ones we have today. Just mountains, wind, wild plants, and a young boy watching over his animals. This is Ethiopia around the year 850. The air is fresh, the hills are green, and coffee plants grow naturally in the wild long before anyone thinks to roast them, grind them, or drink them. A goat herder named Kaldi is walking with his goats. Just another quiet day. But then he notices something strange. The goats eat small red berries from a certain bush, and suddenly they're full of energy. They jump, they run, they refuse to sleep. Curious, Kaldi tries the berries himself. Soon he feels the same burst of energy. He takes the berries to a local monastery. The monk is not impressed. He believed anything that changed the body so quickly must be dangerous. He called the berries the devil's work and threw them into the fire. But here's where the story gets interesting. As the berries burn, a rich, beautiful smell fills the room. It was deep and sweet, unlike anything the monks had ever known. The scent spread through the air, soft at first, then stronger, until everyone in the room stopped what they were doing. The monks leaned closer to the fire. Instead of burning, the berries were roasting. Their color darkened. Their smell grew even richer. They quickly pulled the roasted berries from the fire, crushed them, and mixed them with hot water. The liquid turned dark and shiny. Steam rose from the cup, carrying the same warm smell that had filled the room. The monks tasted it. The drink was strong. It was bitter, but it made them feel awake and focused. They realized this strange fruit could help them stay alert during long nights of prayer. The world's first cup of coffee was a complete accident, a mistake. A monk tried to destroy the berries, and instead, he invented one of humanity's favorite drinks. And here is a detail many people don't know. Coffee beans are not really beans. They are seeds inside a small red fruit that looks like a cherry. So every time you drink coffee, you are drinking the inside of a fruit discovered by dancing goats and a curious boy. But the story doesn't end there. That lucky accident was just the beginning, because coffee was about to find a place where it would become something sacred. After its accidental discovery in Ethiopia, coffee began to move outward, carried by traders across the Red Sea. By the 1400s, it reached Yemen, where the drink found its first true home. In the quiet mountains and busy port towns, Sufi monks discovered that this dark, bitter liquid helped them stay awake during long nights of prayer. They prepared it slowly, treating it almost like a sacred craft. They called it kawa, an old Arabic word once used for wine, though this was a very different kind of wine, one that sharpened the mind instead of clouding it. Some historians believe this is where the word coffee began its long evolution. Kawa becoming kahve in Turkish, then coffee in Dutch, and finally coffee in English. The port city of Mocha soon became the center of this growing world. Ships arrived from across the Indian Ocean carrying spices, cloth, and stories, and now sacks of roasted beans. From Mocha, coffee reached Mecca, Medina, and Cairo. Pilgrims tasted it, loved it, and brought the habit home. In Cairo, people began gathering in lively rooms and open courtyards where coffee was served. These were not shops yet, but early social spaces built around conversation. And in these spaces, something remarkable appeared. People called them the living newspaper. Each evening, a storyteller stood in the center of the room with a long wooden stick. He tapped the floor to gather attention, then began telling tales, stories of love, war, kings, travelers, and distant cities. People sat around him with small cups of coffee, leaning forward, arguing, laughing, or listening in silence. For many, this was the first time they heard news from beyond their own streets. A cup of coffee became a doorway into the wider world. As the drink spread, something new appeared: the first public coffee houses. By 1475, Constantinople opened one of the earliest known shops. These were not religious spaces. They welcomed merchants, travelers, scholars, and ordinary people. Inside, the air was warm with the smell of roasted beans. People gathered to talk, read poetry, listen to music, and share news from faraway places. But not everyone welcomed this new drink. In 1511, the governor of Mecca noticed that men were gathering in coffee houses, speaking freely, debating politics, and exchanging ideas. For a ruler, this kind of open conversation felt dangerous. He banned coffee, declaring it forbidden. It may have been the first government attempt to outlaw the drink. The ban didn't last. People loved coffee too deeply. The drink spread through the Middle East, into Persia, into Turkey, east into South Asia, and west into Europe. And everywhere coffee arrived, it created the same pattern: a warm drink, a shared space, and a place where ideas could move freely. Coffee was no longer just a discovery, it was becoming a culture, shaped one cup, one gathering, one city at a time. And as coffee moved, it carried stories with it. One of the most fascinating is about how coffee first reached South Asia. For centuries, Yemen kept coffee all to itself. They would sell roasted beans to other countries, but never raw seeds that could actually grow. They wanted to be the only place in the world where coffee was farmed. Then, in the 1600s, an Indian pilgrim named Baba Budan tried coffee during his travels. He loved it so much, he decided to bring it home, even if it meant breaking the rules. So he hid 7 raw coffee seeds in a cloth wrapped around his chest, slipped onto a ship, and sailed back to India. Those 7 little seeds? They became the first coffee plants ever grown outside Africa and Arabia. While coffee was making its way into South Asia, it was also heading toward a continent full of questions, ambition, and restless minds. Europe. Ships from the east arrived in Venice, Marseille, and Amsterdam, carrying silk, spices, and something unfamiliar: small brown beans with a deep, smoky aroma. Europeans had never seen anything like them. The drink made from these beans was dark and bitter. It didn't resemble wine or beer. It was something entirely new. The question spread quickly: what is this new drink, and should we trust it? It reached Rome. It reached the Vatican. It reached the Pope. Pope Clement VIII sat in a quiet room filled with gold and sunlight. On the table before him was a small cup of dark liquid. Steam rose slowly. He lifted the cup, smelled it, and tasted it. A long moment passed. Then he smiled. "This drink is too good to ignore," he said. "Let us welcome it." With that, coffee entered Europe. London felt the change first. The city was cold, muddy, and crowded. But inside small wooden rooms, something new was happening. Men sat at tables covered with maps, letters, and newspapers. They talked about ships, money, and trade. They planned voyages. They made deals that shaped the early stock market. 1 penny for a cup, 1 penny to enter. People called these places penny universities. You could sit, listen, learn, and argue. Many ideas that built modern business began in these warm, noisy rooms. Paris changed in a different way. Its cafés were brighter, louder, and full of energy. Voltaire drank cup after cup while writing about freedom. Rousseau argued about equality. Diderot worked on the Encyclopédie, trying to gather all human knowledge in one book. People debated politics and science at small wooden tables. Some historians say the French Revolution began in these cafés, with people imagining a new world over a cup of strong, dark coffee. Vienna created something gentler, something elegant: marble tables, soft music, newspapers from every corner of the empire, pastries that melted in your mouth. Writers came to work on novels, musicians came to sketch melodies, painters met friends and patrons, students read philosophy. In Vienna, coffee became a quiet companion to art and creativity. Many ideas in music, writing, and painting grew in these calm, beautiful rooms. You may wonder, what did Europeans drink in the morning before coffee arrived? Beer. Even children drank it. The water was unsafe and beer was boiled, so it was safer. People began their day slow, sleepy, and unfocused. Coffee changed that. For the first time, Europe started its mornings alert, clear-headed, and ready to think. This new clarity helped spark a period called the Enlightenment, a time when people asked big questions about science, freedom, and society. Many important ideas were born in this age, and many of them began with a cup of coffee. Coffee had reshaped Europe. Now it was ready to reshape the world. Europe wanted more coffee, but its climate was too cold for the trees to grow. People began searching for warmer lands where the plant could survive. And this is where one of the most surprising stories begins. Coffee was precious in the early 1700s. In France, coffee trees grew only in royal gardens, protected like treasure. Seeds often died on long sea voyages, so carrying a living seedling was rare and risky. But one young officer believed the Americas had the perfect climate for coffee. If he could bring even a single plant across the ocean, it might grow into something much bigger. In 1723, Gabriel de Clieu carried one small seedling onto a ship headed for the Americas. The journey was dangerous. Storms hit the ship. Pirates came close. And then the worst problem appeared. The crew began to run out of water. The little plant started to die. De Clieu made a shocking choice. He shared his own drinking water with the seedling. His own water, given to a tiny tree while he stayed thirsty. But the plant survived. And from that one seedling, millions of coffee trees across Latin America were born. Once coffee reached these warm regions, it found exactly what it needed. Farmers later called this area the Bean Belt, a narrow ring around the equator stretching through Central and South America, Africa, the Middle East, and South and Southeast Asia. Warm days, steady rain, and cool mountain air helped the cherries ripen slowly, building sweetness and depth. Growing coffee was full of surprises. And here's something many people don't know. Coffee cherries are picked by hand, not by machines, by real people. Workers climb steep hills with baskets on their backs. They walk between the trees looking for the perfect red cherries, and they pick them one by one. A skilled picker can collect 100 to 200 pounds of cherries in a day. It sounds like a lot until you learn what happens next. After processing, those 200 pounds become only 40 pounds of green beans. And here's the part that surprises almost everyone. A new coffee tree needs 4 years before it produces its first full harvest. Even then, one tree gives only 1 pound of roasted coffee each year, maybe 30 to 40 cups. 1 whole year of growth for a month of mornings. Knowing this, do you think you'll see your next cup a little differently? It becomes something to respect, something to appreciate, something to slow down for. You don't need to become an expert, but knowing a little bit connects you to the farmer you'll never meet, to the land you'll never visit, to the hands that made your morning possible. And that connection, that's something special. From these careful hands and warm hillsides, coffee traveled into cafés and kitchens far from its origins. Coffee no longer belonged to one place or one people. It belonged to many. It moved through cities, homes, and hands, becoming part of daily life in countless ways. And its story was still unfolding. The modern era was about to begin. By the 1900s, the world was moving faster than ever. Cities grew taller, streets became louder, people lived by the clock, and coffee had to keep up. Coffee's growing popularity didn't just change culture, it changed machines. Coffee wasn't only a drink anymore, it was a force that kept pushing technology forward. In Italy, engineers wanted a coffee that didn't take long to brew. They built a machine that pushed hot water through very fine coffee under strong pressure. The result was a tiny cup with a rich, golden top layer called crema. They called this new drink espresso, which literally means pressed out in Italian. People drank it standing at the bar, 1 sip, maybe 2, then rushed back to work. By the way, that fine coffee they use? It comes from 2 main types of beans. Arabica is the gentle one, smoother, sweeter, what most cafes use. Robusta is stronger with more caffeine. A little Robusta in your espresso blend? That's what gives it that thick, golden crema. In the mid-1900s, another invention changed daily routines. Instant coffee. It was simple, it was cheap, it was fast. Soldiers carried it during war because it was light and easy to make. Students used it during long nights. Families drank it at breakfast. You only needed hot water and a spoon. Coffee became something anyone could make, anywhere. By the late 1900s, coffee entered a new age. Cafes began to look similar in many cities. Warm lights, soft music, comfortable chairs. People didn't just come for the drink, they came for the space. A cafe became a place to read, to study, to meet a friend, or to sit alone without feeling alone. Sociologists later called this a third place, not home, not work, but somewhere in between. Global brands spread quickly. They brought coffee bars to airports, malls, and busy streets. And in America, one name stood out. We can't talk about modern coffee without mentioning the company that changed everything: Starbucks. Before Starbucks, most Americans drank instant coffee or simple drip coffee at home. Coffee was something you made quickly in the morning. Nothing special, nothing social. In the 1980s and 90s, Starbucks took a European idea, the espresso bar, and brought it to the masses. They introduced words like latte, cappuccino, and macchiato to millions of people who had never heard them before. Suddenly, ordering coffee felt a little more sophisticated, a little more Italian. And here's something fun about those names. Cappuccino comes from the word for hood, because the drink's color reminded someone of a monk's brown robe. Latte simply means milk. Macchiato means stained or marked. So when you order a latte, you're really just saying milk. But somehow, in Italian, even milk sounds special. And whether people realized it or not, Starbucks transformed coffee from a basic drink into an experience. From the kitchen counter into daily life. From fuel into culture. From routine into identity. Coffee's journey had crossed mountains, oceans, empires, and centuries. But its final chapter wasn't written in history books or old cafés. Its future will be shaped by something new: science, climate, and creativity, and by every one of us. Today, coffee faces a changing world. Temperatures rise, weather shifts. Some regions struggle to grow the beans they once depended on. But new regions are emerging. Farmers experiment with higher altitudes, new varieties, and new ways of protecting the plants. At the same time, technology is rewriting the cup itself. Roasters use sensors and software to control heat with perfect precision. Baristas use scales, timers, and machines that think in milliseconds. Researchers explore fermentation, flavor chemistry, and processing methods that didn't exist a decade ago. Coffee is entering an age of experimentation, an age where tradition meets innovation. And through all of this, one thing remains the same: you, in your kitchen, holding a warm cup. The future of coffee is shaped by scientists and farmers, by machines and methods. But it's also shaped by you, by the choices you make, the stories you share, the moments you pause and simply enjoy. Before you go, let me ask you something. What's your favorite coffee drink? The one that feels like yours? A quiet black coffee in the morning? A creamy latte on a rainy afternoon? A small espresso after dinner? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to know what's in your cup. Thank you for walking through this journey with me. If this episode made you see your next cup a little differently, share it with someone. Ask them about their coffee story. You might be surprised by what you learn. And if you enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing or hitting like. It helps more learners discover these stories. See you next time.